Halong is no more, in good riddance on this storm system. It is currently the 11th of August, 2014. We have been tracking this storm for over a week now, back when it first impacted Guam. Then it pushed off towards west, became a violent typhoon, then moved across the Sea of Japan, and now it has lost all of its tropical characteristics, but it's still bringing some gusty winds across northern portions of Japan. In western portions of Hokkaido, this small island just off the northwestern coastline, we have been seeing winds gusting up in 100 kilometers per hour out here, and it definitely is still going to be very breezy as we go ahead through the rest of Monday and into Tuesday. Our storm system is going to continue to track off there towards the north, but as you can see here on our model outlook from Meteo Earth, this is the ECMWF model, the bulk of the precipitation is still getting stretched off here towards the east. We kind of have a warm front stretching right there, more of an occluded front actually, and our warm front's over there, and a cold front extending down towards the south. So our storm system really is getting detached. Its warm core low features are all gone, but still, if you're out here in Hokkaido, 5 to 7 meter high waves near the coastline, there is still that threat of landslides from the Japan Meteorological Agency, indicating that high threat of landslides, especially along the eastern seaboards of Hokkaido off here. Also into parts of Tohoku, you still have that really towards prefecture where emergency level warnings were issued due to the absurd amount of rainfall which was coming down out here, and you still see some of those areas in the red. But what I do want to talk about, and I know that the storm system is still ongoing, we're going to see that precipitation out here across northern portions of Japan. It's going to taper off though as we go through Tuesday afternoon, and our low slowly going to push off there towards Sakhalin, just kind of tapering off as it gets wrapped up with the westerlies, and eventually pushing off there towards the northeast. Also in Tochigi Prefecture, we actually saw a report of a tornado out here. Well, unconfirmed by the Japan Meteorological Agency, but they often say that when a tornado occurs, even if they have video of it, they want to make sure perfect analysis is done to say it's a tornado. 474 homes were damaged over a 10-kilometer stretch. It's pretty much in a straight line, so you could assume it's almost a tornado damage, but it's likely going to be an EF0 or F1 intensity. 2 injuries were reported out here. As far as typhoons producing tornadoes, this actually happens quite often. You get a lot of instability when these storms come on shore. Plus, they get wrapped up with some friction once they move over land, so that starts to spawn up vortices. Actually, that very classic image of a car that ended up flying across a part of Okinawa, you remember that video. A lot of people think that was probably one of these vortices. Same thing goes off here towards the north. Probably did have a weak tornado. It did cause a lot of damage, but nothing very significant structural related. But a lot of superficial damage there into Tochigi Prefecture once that storm moved off here towards the north. Some of its outer rain bands pushed on shore. So definitely that is one very important part of this storm system. Still some scattered showers possible around coastal areas due to that front that's going to extend off of this all the way down there towards the south, and then even some monsoonal flow off towards southeastern and portions of China and over towards Taiwan. But what I want to talk about is this past weekend where we saw breaking amounts of rainfall, and actually in one area in Prefecture, the 24-hour rain total broke into the top 10 all-time records. This stat coming from Digital Typhoon. They get their information from the Japan Meteorological Agency. Number 9 there in Yanase, and actually key thing to note is number 8 is also Yanase, and also Kochi Prefecture dominates the top spot at 979 millimeters in 1998. This is often a problem. We do have tropical systems come through this part of Japan. What happens is that they push overhead and they stream in moisture from the south. So over towards Kochi Prefecture, this is lined with mountains. Same thing goes for the Kii Peninsula. So what we start to see is all that moisture pile up here along the coastal areas, and that often brings that threat of just an absurd amount of rainfall and the threat of flooding. Same thing goes for Taiwan. We have the mountains out here, and sometimes we can see these rain totals add up to 500-600 millimeters, possibly even 1,000 millimeters. Since the start of August, one area in Kochi Prefecture, 2,000 millimeters of rainfall was reported out here. That's me, by the way, on NHK World. Please do go watch during the morning hours. I'm on there 20 minutes after the hour. That's the morning hours, Japan Standard Time. So our hopes definitely do go out to everybody that was involved in this storm system. 2 deaths have been reported at this time. I have seen reports upwards of 9, but from what I have seen officially, 2. I try not to exaggerate those numbers. That is something that's really taken seriously. Meanwhile, over 80 people have been injured, and just thousands of homes inundated out here. Over 1 million people were evacuated at one time, and this storm is definitely going to go down as one of these very serious storm systems. It was a violent typhoon at one time, and yeah, this has definitely brought a deluge of rainfall across Japan, and that was one of the major problems with it. In its wake, I do want to show you this. Temperatures continue to soar across parts of Japan, and we are going to be seeing that threat of heat stroke out here. That's something we want to continue to keep an eye on. Over 30 deaths due to heat strokes thus far this summer in the Tokyo alone. So I know we're talking about these storm systems, but we often forget that the heat is kind of a silent killer. It can cause problems in its own, especially across eastern portions of China. We're still seeing that temperatures really continue to rise. I know our storm system swirled off here towards the north. It's bringing a little bit of cool down with the cloud cover, but it's also pumping in this warm tropical air behind it. So if you're out here in the Tokyo, Naha, western portions of Kyushu, the rain has stopped, but those southerly winds are ushering in very muggy and moist air as well. So that's something we're definitely going to really continue to keep an eye on. Meanwhile, down towards the south in the tropics, temperatures, of course, still continue to be warm, and we're also seeing this persistent flow of moisture come across the Indochina Peninsula over towards Thailand as well, or excuse me, Taiwan, not Thailand. There is going to be that threat of flooding out here for you. You can actually see this on that precipitation outlook as we look ahead over the course of the next 24 to 48 hours. That moisture inflow continues to push through. The Philippines are going to miss out on it, so good news there, I guess, if you don't want the precipitation. Most of it's staying off there towards the north. But that is all for right now, everybody. Thanks again for watching here at westernpacificweather.com. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can always post them down there into the comment box below. And as always, stay safe out there. Bye.